Hey, it's Kim Commando Today, your daily podcast to keep you up to date with all things digital and beyond. And I'd love to have you be a part of our podcast. You can make an appointment to speak with me. Just head over to commando.com, and on the top right, there's a button that says Email Kim. Fill that out, and that's it. All right, I always like to kick things off with something super interesting. And I don't know if you remember all the kids that were eating those Tide Pods on TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
Well, now there's a new trend on TikTok. Get this, people are mixing borax into water, and they're drinking it for the health benefits. That's right. One TikToker swears by adding borax to her smoothies that it has shielded her, ready for it, the chemtrail exposure.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Well,
I
yeah,
know.
of course. Come on.
Okay. Just a quick reality check. We're talking about borax. It's the laundry cleaner, the wood preserver, the fertilizer ingredient, the ant killer. Yes. Swallowing it can give you a one-way ticket right to the ER. So do not follow the TikTok trend of mixing borax with your smoothies and drinking it by any means. Because, just reminds me, what do you call a stupid element on TikTok? What do you call a stupid element on TikTok? Anyone? A boron. Oh, I know that was bad. I know. Hey, happy Friday, tech lovers, because buckle up. It's another turbocharged episode of Kim Commando Today. We've got a real delight for you. We have a one-star player. I'm sorry, not a one-star. We have a five-star player. We have one person. That's right, just one person, not a one-star. Ali Seligman, our amazing content queen, is here. So, Ali, how are you going to impress us with your extreme intellect?
I have a little malware warning, lots of stuff going around, so you don't get caught up in it. And then some of my favorite ways that I talk to my phone.
All the time?
I do it too often. We'll get into it.
Okay. Excellent. This is not a personality flaw by any means, right?
No, it's a productivity trick.
Oh, productivity trick. We love those. And now joining us, very special friend of mine. Joe, how many radio stations are you on now?
170 now.
Awesome. Okay, so almost 200 radio stations, Joe Pags. And Joe, this is kind of a stretch for you because you normally talk about politics, but I know that deep down, you are a geek of the week, right?
I'm such a tech geek. I focus on it all I can. I try to monetize it, figure out what the different algorithms are, the different trends. I try to keep up with it, although I'm called a boomer. I'm not, but I do love tech. I get the latest phones. I get the latest computers. I build my own computers, all that stuff.
Oh, so this podcast should be really easy for you then.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's going to kill it.
You're gonna have this. Okay. So what we do, Joe, is we have different segments, and we're gonna start off with the news, and then we do some tips, and then I always have the what the heck headline of the week. So, Joe, it's a whole mishmash of tech stuff that we do. We do news, we have tips, and then at the end, one of us always has to tell a joke. And since you're new, it's first time here, is that I have a joke at the end that I assure you you're gonna want to tell it on your show. Absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
I will steal it.
Okay, so let's get started with the news. Okay, it's day 86 of the writer's strike, day maybe 13 of the actor's strike, and no one in Hollywood is budging until now. Because here's a job posting that caught my attention the other day. Netflix is offering to pay $300,000 to $900,000 a year. Yes, I'm getting my resume all sharpened up, let me tell you, for a new position that they're calling a machine learning platform product manager. Okay, so now, Joe, what do you think a machine learning platform product manager does?
I don't know. It sounds like somebody who would stare at AI as it does its work all day. I have no idea what that would be.
How about you, Al? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's the AI whisperer. It's somebody who's going to maybe replace all those actors with AI.
AI, that's right. It is. It's a long-winded way of saying that they want someone who understands AI. And the job specifically states, it goes on, for content creation, optimize the production of original movies and TV shows. So yes, likely replace all the actors, the screenwriters, the other workers, and then not just tell you which movies that you're going to want to binge. So here's the deal. The going rate for an AI body scan for an actor's likeness is at most $300 an hour.
Whoa.
Okay, $300 an hour just to put together an actor. Okay, so Netflix is saying, all right, we don't need you, right? We don't need all you actors and writers because we have AI, $900,000 $100,000 a year. Wow. And they say they're also going to think about doing this in states that are non-union. Okay, that's more than half the country. And let me tell you, a hungry actor will move, but you don't even have to pay an AI person, right? But speaking of movies, let me ask you guys this question. What has 25 actors, 3 settings, 2 writers, and 1 plot? Okay, let me give you that again. What has 25 actors, 3 settings, 2 writers, and 1 plot? Anyone? Okay, you ready?
I have no idea.
About 678 Hallmark movies. That's what it is.
Wow.
One
all
plot.
the same.
That was good.
They are just all the same. All right. So, Joe, you're up next in the news. What do you have for us?
Watching Twitter become X confuses me. And I think that Elon Musk has so much money, he's just really trolling us at this point. I think the man says, I've done everything I want to do, and I just want to name everything else. I think he wanted to call PayPal X when he was at PayPal, and then the board kicked him off his own company. But he's now come full circle. He's got the X, Tesla. Now it's X on Twitter. And when you ask him why, there's never an answer. I don't know why we had to change what this thing is. We still know that it's Twitter. But I really believe this guy is bored because he's so rich and decided, let me just mess with everybody's head on my platform. Let me call it X. And then people started to genuflect. Oh, here's my design for the X. And, I love X, Twitter X. X is the best. Elon, go. He actually the other day said, give me a good reason why I should follow you, or something like, who should I follow next? And everybody's response was, please, I want to kiss your toes. Please follow me. And my response was, you're not yet. So at the end of the day, I think this guy is at a stratosphere that I will never get to, probably monetarily, and is just bored now. I think that's what's going on for me. That's the big news for me this week on social media and on tech.
But you know what? He named one of his kids X. He has 25 different kids. Right?
What is the fixation?
X, one's name's Y. Yeah, it's just kind of crazy. But what he wants to do is he wants X to be, like in China, they have this massive popular app called WeChat. And so instead of us looking at our phone and opening up Uber and Instacart and Netflix or whatever we have, is that it's all going to be in this one app. Now, keep in mind that you said you probably will never attain Elon Musk's wealth, which, I'm going to guarantee it that I never will. But he has,
I'm still hopeful.
13... Yeah, I'm happy for you, Joe. He's $13 billion in debt with Twitter X, so that's always a big motivator, right there. $13 billion.
Well, it's interesting. It's not like we're going to wake up tomorrow and say I forgot that it used to be called Twitter. I guess when you rebrand something that's been around for so long, it's hard for me to understand how you convince all the users, unless they just want to kiss up to you to maybe get a follow, that it's suddenly a different thing. Now, you're right. He's probably going to expand the platform and make it more like a WeChat and do different things. The spaces already are taking off like crazy. But I don't understand the rebranding of something that we're all familiar with.
I don't think we're still going to call it Twitter. Right?
Right.
I guess it worked with Meta because that was kind of the parent company. So we still call Facebook. Sure, we'll refer to Mark Zuckerberg's company as Meta, but I'm not going to call it X. I'm just not.
How dare you?
No, I'm having trouble with that. X marks the spot. X.
Yes.
No, not really. All right, so what do you have for us today in the news, Al?
Well, it's a beautiful day to be Bad News Alley. That Joe doesn't know Bad News Alley, but yeah, sometimes I come in, we'll call it a public service announcement because I have to tell you about all the bad stuff happening out there so you don't fall for this junk. And today, the focus is malware, and wouldn't you know it, there is a ton of Barbie malware. Yes, this is, oh yeah.
Really? Oh.
Kim, anytime there's something really popular, everyone's Googling it, everybody's interacting with it, hackers think, how can I get in on that? And because it's a movie, of course, there's going to be pirated copies of the movie no, it's not an actual pirated copy of the movie. It's just malware. Another one, you might see an ad or something that says, click here to win free tickets. No, you just won free malware. So don't do that. Stay away from all this junk. Another one to watch for, this is targeting Macs and Windows PCs. It's called Realst malware, and it is hiding in online games. This one it's called an info stealer. Basically, it scrapes all your passwords. Very bad news.
Nice.
It's been found in games like Brawl Earth, Wild World, Dawnland, Destruction, Pearl. We'll put all these over on the website. Don't feel like you have to remember it. The real thing here is make sure that you're downloading games from official sources. the actual App Store. Don't go to some random website. Yeah, they're going to have a Twitter account and a Discord and make it look really, believable. But no, a lot of these are just passed along malware. One more worth mentioning, not malware, but important security. If you have an iPhone, Kim, there is another 0-day fix.
Okay, you know what? You don't need to rub it in, because here's what she does, Joe, is that she sits there, because she used to have a Huawei phone. I'm like, you know what? You can't be with the show and have a Huawei phone. Okay, so then she went out and she's like, now she's all pompous and indignant because now she has a Pixel phone. So she thinks she's superior to all of us iPhone. So that was a little slight dig.
iPhone here.
There you go. Sorry, Al.
Well, time to update your phone, both of you. It is a 0-day flaw. Reminder, that means that cyber criminals are actively exploiting that right now. It wasn't just some bug, a bounty hunter found. So go forth, update your iPhone and every other Apple thing, really. iPad, Mac, Apple Watch all needs updates too. Okay,
I wonder if I can interject this before you move on, because 0-day flaws on iPhones, and Kim knows this about me, allows you to jailbreak your phone, because Apple doesn't let you do anything that's customizable on your phone. If you can jailbreak your phone, which, by the way, a court said was legal on your phone, that's through a 0-day exploit that can get into the iOS. So I don't know. I get that the bad guys want to get into my phone. But if I can customize my phone and enjoy the services like iMessage and the connectivity with my Mac and my phone and all that, I'm kind of okay with it, as long as you're not stealing all my stuff. But now you scared me. Ali, why are you scaring me? Come on.
That's what I'm here for. But now I'm going to entertain you, because we're going to play a little game called, we'll call it real or fake. I am going to read some names of different strains of malware. You two are going to guess, is that real malware or did I make it up? Okay.
Okay.
Number 1, decoy dog. Real or
It's
fake?
real.
I'm going real.
It's real. It's brand new. It's targeting businesses. Yes, good job. Mouse Island.
Fake.
Ooh. What do you think, Joe?
I'm saying fake.
All right, I'm just going to say it's true, just because this way we have a shot at winning.
What a game player. It's real. Yes. It was
yes,
actually one of the most popular of 2021. Form book.
That sounds real.
Real?
Yeah, it's real. Goobot.
I'm sorry, say that again. Did you sneeze?
Goobot.
Fake.
I don't know.
Fake.
I'm going to say fake. I'm going to cheat and say fake. I don't know.
All right, that one's fake. And finally, Agent Tesla.
Oh, that sounds like they would use
Tesla.
his company against. I'm going to say real on that one.
Yeah, I'm going to say real. On that one,
Real. You know what? You two nailed it. I gave this quiz to, sorry, I'm going to call him out, Jeremy, our IT genius. You guys did better.
Oh,
You can use that
what we
over.
do.
better about that.
Take that, Jeremy.
Yes. So, I still can't believe that people are downloading fake Barbie movies. It just, it's just kind of crazy to me that you'd sit there and think oh, this would be okay. I mean, but let me tell you, I was driving down State Street here in Santa Barbara, and I saw a whole line of people just waiting to get in the movie, and I thought, hey, that's a Barbie queue. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
I know.
Come on.
Okay, that was bad. All right, coming up, the jokes will get better, I promise. And then also, I've got some tips on how you can opt out of all those junky credit card insurance offers that just get stuffed into your mailbox. Joe's going to be talking about ghost and shadow banning. And then Allie has some commands that you didn't know you could do with your phone. And then I have the what the heck headline of the week that you're just not going to want to believe. So stay right where you are.
This episode is brought to you by Kia's first 3-row, all-electric SUV, the Kia EV9, with available all-wheel drive and seating for up to 7 adults, with 0 to 60 speed that thrills you 1 minute, and available lounge seats that unwind you the next. Visit kia.com/EV9 to learn more. Ask your Kia dealer for availability. No system, no matter how advanced, can compensate for all driver error and or driving conditions. Always drive safely.
Hey, it's Kim Commando today. It's your Friday Fun podcast where it's not just me, where I have my friends along with me. And if you haven't already signed up for our current newsletter, oh my gosh, you are so missing out. And I have to tell you this story. This is kind of like an inside story. Is that Tracy, our sales gal, sends me a message in chat and she says, hey, can you update the sales deck to over 600,000 people? And I'm like, what do you mean? And I'm like thinking like, okay, this is like Tracy in sales. She's probably just like beefing up the numbers. So then I message Allie and I'm like, so Allie, how many people do we have subbed to the newsletters? And she's like, 609,000 people. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we've been growing like weeds. So if you haven't already signed up for our free newsletters, you're just missing out, okay? Because every single day we send out the news in the morning, the tech news. In the afternoon, you get like this whole digital life hack newsletter, and they're just fabulous. I checked out the reviews this morning. We had 40,000 thumbs up, and we had like 802 thumbs down. So whoever you 802 people are, I don't know who you are, but I think you need to really reevaluate your life. Okay, so head over to getkim.com. Once again, that's getkim.com. All right, so this is part of the podcast where we like to talk about some great tips. And so have you ever really looked inside your mailbox lately? And have you noticed the only mail that you're getting, it seems to be junk offers?
Yeah.
Or the people who used to live here before, I think they gave money to everybody under the sun. I mean, I don't care, because it's like every time I go to my mailbox, there's like the Horse Foundation, the Llama Foundation. I mean, be a Buddha, be a Catholic. And I'm like, okay, just all under the sun. So here's the deal, is that there's something called opt-out pre-screen. So if you go to optoutprescreen.com, you can opt out of all these junk offers for either 5 years or forever. Okay, I picked forever, just so you want to know. So what you want to do is go to optoutprescreen.com. Once again, that's optoutprescreen.com, and then you can get rid of all those junk offers that are just flooding your mailbox. It's such a pain in the neck.
I'm going to do that when we're done.
I just did it.
All right, how about you, Joe? Joe, pass along a great tip that everybody's going to love.
A great tip. Well, I'll go, instead of talking about shadow banning, why don't we talk about Instagram? I had 19,000 followers on Instagram at the election in last November. I've got 213,000 now. And you wonder, well, how did I do that?
That's awesome.
I found my niche, and I stuck to it. Very short videos, very to the point, short, informative, maybe short, entertaining, short, sarcastic. And then at the end, if you follow me on Instagram, you already know this, I just yell, come on, at the end of the video. So I just gave 10 to 15
I'm
seconds.
sorry, you yell what?
Come on. I yell, come on, come on. I just yell it like that.
Come on.
So people seem to like this. I found what my sort of alley was, and all that, no pun intended. And I just decided, if I stick to this, let me see if something happens. And all of a sudden, one video got 1 million views, and another video got 500,000 views. And now every video gets over 100,000 views. And every day, I'm getting about 1,000 followers on Instagram. And this is a platform, and Kim, you know this, we've talked about this privately and on your show. Facebook hates me. Meta doesn't like me because I dared interview like the MyPillow guy, or I interviewed Rudy Giuliani. And Meta said, forget it, we've got to squelch this guy's reach. So for me to be successful on Instagram tells me that the algorithm is completely different, and that if you do something that people will react to, will like, and will comment on, you probably can find success. So that's my tip. If those of you out there aren't getting any virality, any traction at all on a social media platform, find your niche, stick to it, don't change it, and the formula eventually works.
And a catchphrase.
So,
Yeah.
catchphrase, yes.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
So how long are the videos, Joe?
Well, I mean, the ones that really got me like crazy virality, I was doing 7 to 15 seconds because they turn over very quickly.
Yeah.
And then you're going to get more than 100% on view time, because people will watch it, 1.5 times and go, oh, it restarted. Let me move on. But I've now done some that are right up to 57, 58 seconds. If you leave it under a minute, the reels are how I grew the page. A reel's got to be 60 seconds or less. Even right at 59, and they do very well if it's an interesting topic. I found that if I give a really good hook at the beginning, like, did he really say this? And then show Biden saying something, and then yell, come on, at the end. People really enjoy that, and they spread them like crazy.
What a great idea. You know what? That's true. Find your niche, stick with it, as long as the niche has to be entertaining, right? It has to be
Right, and for 10 years,
informative. I
got no traction. Nobody. I was gaining maybe 100 followers every 2 months.
Yeah.
And now it's 1,000 a day.
That's incredible.
So now what happens if you try to post those videos on Facebook?
Nobody sees them. On Facebook, if you go to my page, I've got 385,000 followers on Facebook, have not gained even 1 follower in about 4 years. Nobody sees them. If I get 8 comments, 10 comments, that's crazy good. Maybe I'll get 70 shares on a really, really viral video. But again, and it's so interesting that you ask that, because Instagram will literally push some of these reels onto Facebook in some other realm that's not my page, and I will get Facebook views on them, but I don't get credit on my page on Facebook, if that makes sense. So it's almost like, don't tell Zuckerberg, but they like me over here and they hate me over there. So I'm just going to stay quiet about that. Don't tell. Nobody's going to see this, right?
No.
No, not
Just
at all.
between friends.
Nobody, and I, Mark Zuckerberg and I are the closest of friends, so I'll be sure not to mention this to him.
They hang out in the metaverse
Okay.
all the time.
That's right.
Yes. Oh my God! And
But
we
that's
have
my
no
tip of
legs.
the day. It
We have no
really
legs.
can work, even if you think you're being shadow or ghost banned. If you've got content that people will just press the like button on and share, all of a sudden things can change.
Well, Allie, see, that's an idea for you.
I
So
know,
you can
seriously.
start posting these short videos on our Instagram account.
We should.
And Joe, are you wearing clothes in these videos?
Yes. Well, sometimes I've got a tank top on, and I get some heat because why don't you put on a jacket? What's the matter with you? I'm like, I work out. I can wear a tank top. It's okay. But that's not not why it's happening. Like at the end, Allie, you can yell "Commando" or something like that.
Yeah, that would be good.
Let's do it.
That'd be good.
We're going to try it. I want to try this tip, see how it works for us. We'll report back.
Let me know.
Okay.
Exactly.
We'll do.
All right. So, Allie, what kind of tips do you have for us right now?
Oh, Kim, you have heard me talk about this many times before. Joe, I refer to this as my old man behavior, where I tell my phone to do things for me all the time. I know it's not just old men who do it. All of us do it now because it's so easy, right? And you can do so much stuff through Siri, Google Assistant, and they're actually pretty good now if you know what you're doing. Okay, a couple of recent favorites. One that I hear Kim do, I think every week when we film the show, is, Siri, put my phone on Do Not Disturb. It's so much easier than going through and even swiping down and clicking that little button. All you have to do is say it out loud, which is nice. You can also say silence my phone instead of Do Not Disturb. This one is so good. You can say find my phone. Okay, great. So you can do this through a different device. So say you've got an iPad. You can tell Siri, find my phone, and she will make your iPhone start beeping if you can't find it. Super handy. One that I like for arguments, like, who's going to walk the dog because it's 110 degrees out, nobody wants to do it. Flip a coin. You could just say, Siri or Google Assistant, flip a coin, decision is made. You don't have to fight about it anymore. One I use quite a bit actually is show me photos of. So your phone's photo album is actually pretty smart, especially if you've gone in and said, hey, this little circle, this is my husband, or this is Kim, this is Joe. And so you can say, show me pictures of Kim. All the pictures of Kim Commando on your phone will show up. Wow. Most of you, if you have a bunch of pictures of Kim Commando on your phone, that's creepy. I do for business reasons, but you know what I mean.
I've got a few, so what? I mean, come on.
Yeah, just a few. It's whatever. And then one more, because I'm a bit of a forgetful person if I don't write things down or remind myself of it. I just have too much in my brain. So you can say, hey, Google, hey, Siri, remind me. And you can set this to be remind me in an hour. You can say remind me when I get to the office, remind me when I get home. And it'll actually use your GPS to see, oh, she's home now. I'm going to tell her to start the dishwasher. Or she's at work. I'm going to tell her, call Kim Commando. So I use these all the time. I think they're very handy. And, I used to be a little bit embarrassed about talking to my phone so much, but I've just given in. It's just who I am now.
Yeah, you just have to do it.
Yeah.
I always like it when I hear Barry in the kitchen. He'll be like, hey, Siri, what's the weather? And she's like, I'm sorry, I don't understand you. And then I hear, God damn it, Siri.
A pro tip, Barry, if you yell, it's so much worse. Just speak in your normal voice. Although maybe Barry's just a yeller.
Well, you know what? But, I prank him. I mean, I do. And so he doesn't know whether it's me or if it's the device. But my favorite one, and Allie knows this one, Joe, is that, so, we're here in Santa Barbara because it's so hot in Phoenix. And so we have this beautiful view of the valley. And so we have Alexa in the kitchen. I know she's hearing everything that we do, but I've kind of, resorted to that fact. And so I hear Barry say, Alexa, what's the weather going to be like? And so I have Alexa programmed and to say, look out the window, you dope. It's a beautiful day in Santa Barbara.
That's so mean.
I know, but it's so funny.
So
funny. All right. If you love these quick tips, make sure that you get our podcast, The Daily Tech Updates. Every single day, you get one great news story that's happening in the tech verse. And then you also get one tech tip that you're going to use time and time again. And so here's what you do. Each of them take 1 minute, so that's 2 minutes. So think about everything you can do in 2 minutes. You can brush your teeth. So instead of just sitting there and like looking at yourself in the mirror because you got that, that morning glow about yourself, what you do is fire up the Daily Tech Update, and then while you're brushing your teeth, you're getting fresh tech know-how and you're getting fresh breath. It's like a twofer, okay? That's what's happening here. So make sure that wherever you get your podcast, just search for Commando with a K and then get the Daily Tech Update. All right, coming up, I have an incredible story you guys are not going to believe. It has to do with an insurance company and a drone. And Allie's going to give us a Tech Life upgrade, and then I have an incredibly funny joke at the end. I really think, out of a scale of 1 to 10, I think my joke at the end this week, sometimes, Joe, you don't know this, sometimes they're pretty marginal, like a 4 or 5. But I think this one's a good solid 8.5.
Wow.
I really do.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
We have high
going out on a limb.
expectations. I can't wait. This is going to be good.
Seriously.
All right. So stay right where you are. Hey, it's Kim Commando today. If you're not following us on social media and you're ghosting us, why are you doing that? Just go ahead and hit that big old follow or like button. We are at Kim Commando everywhere. So that would be Instagram.com/Kim Commando. Work with me on this. Facebook.com/Kim Commando. You know what it is. So we are at Kim Commando everywhere. All right. So here's the headline of the week that I found, okay? Insurance company cancels man's insurance because of drone footage. What's going on here? Come with me to California, of course. So CJ Sven, he walked out to his mailbox one day. He opened it up, and he got that letter that no homeowner really wants to take a look at. His homeowner's insurance has been canceled. Why? They said that they found clutter, hazardous waste, tires, and a dilapidated car in his backyard. And he thought, how did they know all of this? Well, the California State Automobile Association told him that he lost his insurance because they sent a drone into his backyard. And they surveyed everything that was going on in his backyard. And they said, hey, listen, we can't cover you because we see all this junk that's back there. Now, they have hence come out and said, it wasn't a drone. It was satellite imagery, which sounds like somebody's doing a little backpedaling to me.
Yeah,
anyway.
I would think so.
CJ says he's been noticing drones hovering his backyard, and he really didn't think anything of it. And when he asked if he could get his policy reinstated, and they said, no, there's just no way that you could do that. Now, I had the opportunity to look at images of CJ's backyard. Okay, it's a little cluttered. Okay, it's something that, you and I would say, let's get the junk out of the backyard and put a pool in.
Yeah.
But does that give the right to an insurance company to cancel them? Let's just assume that they used a drone. What do you think, Joe?
No, it doesn't. From what I understand, you own your property from the ground to the heavens. Now, if there's satellite imagery, there may be some sort of different stipulation, and maybe that's why they changed their story. But if you fly a drone over my yard, I feel confident, and don't do this, people. I'm just telling you what I would do, that I could take that drone and keep it. I can grab it out of the air, maybe knock it down with a broom. I can do whatever I want. Because how is that different than the next door neighbor walking around my yard just rummaging through and taking pictures? You don't have the right to do that. I mean, the Fourth Amendment literally gives us the right to privacy from government intrusion. So I would think that government would have rules and regulations on companies like insurance companies that say you can't go and surveil your clients unless, and this is the unless, there's one car insurance company, I won't mention, I don't know if they're a sponsor or what, but they give you the opportunity to plug in something in your car that then report to them how fast you're going and where you're going and how much gas you're using. If you agree to that as a stipulation to your contract with that company, I get it. You just gave them the right to do it. But I doubt this guy signed his insurance policy for his homeowners and said, by the way, stop by anytime you want, take whatever pictures you want, come into the backyard and bring the kids. I don't think this is legal. I think that they're in really big trouble over this. I really do.
I thoroughly agree with you. What do you think, Al?
Yeah, I would at least think there would be like a, 3 strikes and you're out. Like, give the guy a warning if this is a real thing. Like, let people know if this is going to happen. Of course, they're not going to let people know because they want to, catch them unaware. But yeah, the whole thing seems shady. And I think them just saying it's satellites, they know that they messed up. They know that this isn't going to fly.
Kim, you've got the trained eye, and Allie, you do as well. Was it a drone? What does it look like? Does it look like drone footage, or could it be satellite footage?
I didn't see the pictures.
It looks too good. It looked too clear to be a satellite image.
Yeah.
It really did.
There you go.
So where Ian lives, what's really kind of cool is that you can take a back street, and when you go on this back street, you drive past the likes of Sergey Brin's house, okay, Hollywood actors. Let's see, Leonardo DiCaprio has a house in this neighborhood. Walt Disney lives in or used to live in this neighborhood, so it's a whole family estate. Jeff Bezos' house is in this neighborhood. Okay?
Oh.
So it's kind of like on the middle of like between Bel Air and Beverly Hills. Okay. Obviously, we don't live in Beverly Hills or Bel Air. We just drive through. Okay. But what's interesting is that so Ian and his friend Max is a film student at Columbia. Ian's like, let's go for a walk through this neighborhood. And so Max is a film student, and so he has a high-powered drone. So he says, you know what, I'm going to take the drone and let's see what we can see inside backyards.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay.
Wow.
So he's walking by Walt Disney's, and then he gets the drone up, and the drone loses the signal and falls to the ground.
Wow.
Okay. So they have some kind of signal blocker there, right? Obviously. So then he goes around the corner, and now he's standing at Jeff Bezos' gates, which I have stood there myself. Because the reason why is because he had some Amazon packages at his front gate. And I just thought that would be like so funny to take a picture of Jeff Bezos' house with Amazon boxes in front of it. But you don't see his house, you just see a gate. And so when they took the drone there and they flew it up in the street, okay, not over the gate, not over the 20-foot hedges, is that all of a sudden they heard security people on the PA saying, get away, take that drone down.
Wow.
Oof.
Yes, which is unlike my experience when I was in the pool and I'm sitting there in my bikini and this drone comes right over my head.
So
and
creepy.
I thought, that was wrong. That's
Yeah.
wrong. Drone technology.
Yeah,
All
where
right,
I
coming
live,
up-
we don't have the drone issue. We've got people that fly. This is in South Central Texas. We've got people that will fly by in some sort of a motorized. It sounds like a lawnmower thing. It's like a motorized kite or balloon or something. There's one guy riding around in that. He flies over your house. And I've many times yelled at him, "Get away from my house! What's the matter with you?" So yeah, I don't know what they're called. It's some sort of a weird rig that is sort of a motorized balloon or motorized kite of some sort. So we don't have the drones necessarily because, again, here in Texas, we'll just shoot the drone down. Not saying it's legal. I'm not telling people to do that, but that will happen if you fly a drone over my house. But you can't like shoot a guy out of a thing,
No.
who's
Don't
like
do
flying
that.
over.
That would be wrong.
Yeah, that'd be very bad. Yeah.
That would be wrong. Skeet shooting's one thing, but I wouldn't, I've seen those, and they sound like a lawnmower in the air.
Right.
I'm like, I don't know why anybody would even think like that would be even
Safe.
a good idea to approach getting in one of those things. It's like
Right.
it's like paragliding. Okay, why do you want to paraglide?
Absolutely
I mean,
not.
your feet are the landing gear. Okay, that's a bad idea. That's just not right.
Not a good idea.
Not good at all.
Nope.
Coming up, we have Allie's Tech Life Upgrade, and it's all about setting up those speakers. And then I have just the hilarious joke at the end you don't want to miss.
Forget the pressure to be crushing your workout on day one. Just starting is what matters. Wherever you're beginning and wherever you want to be, start moving with Peloton Bike, Bike Plus, Tread, Row, Guide, or app. With thousands of classes and over 50 Peloton instructors ready to support you from day one. Remember, doing something is everything. Get started with a Peloton Bike or Bike Plus rental at onepeloton.ca/bike/rentals. All access membership separate. Terms apply.
Hey, it's Kim Commando today. It's our Friday podcast. That's where it's Kim and Friends. Yes. And so today we have Joe Pags joining us. And if you haven't heard Joe Pags' show, it is incredible. Every single day, Joe just talks the straight scoop about what's happening in the world and the world of politics. But also, I just like that you're always honest, Joe. It's just, you just kind of tell it like it is.
It's the best way to be. If you're not going to be honest, I can't expect my customers to come back. So yeah, we try to tell like it is. Plus, we do a lot of music. Plus, I try to tell jokes, not as funny as the joke you've got coming up, but we try to tell jokes every day. So yeah, we try to entertain the best we can while giving the straight skinny.
So now, if somebody wants to find how to listen to you near them, or how do they do that? They go to joepags.com?
Absolutely. JoePags.com. I'm 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern time is when I'm live. Some stations run us later or some stations run us the next day. But at the end of the day, you can just go to my website, joepags.com, click on listen live at that time or watch live. I stream the whole thing like a TV show, all 3 hours. And I'd love for them to stop by Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern time.
You got it. All right. So Allie is our amazing content queen. And what that means, Joe, is that she's always looking for these life upgrades, these tech things that we can pass along to people that they go, wow, I didn't know that. So this is part of the podcast where Allie says, okay, this is what you need to do with your tech life. So take it away, Al.
Okay, I have probably half a dozen Echoes. It's a lot, and you might be wondering, why do you really need Alexa to help you that much? And the funny thing is, I don't use Alexa for much. I don't ask a lot of questions. In the kitchen, I might set a timer if I'm cooking or things like that. Maybe, how many cups are in a quart, whatever. But I don't use it too much to ask things, to check on my orders, anything like that. They're really just for music for me. And I've realized how great it is to have all my speakers connected and to be able to play music across the whole house, even in the garage if I want to. And it's the same music. I don't know about you two. I hate when there's like competing music
Yes.
in the house. Yeah. And, it's just me and my husband in the house, so we'd rather just listen to it together. So almost every morning I say, house music? And he says, yes. And then I turn on the music. Basically, you can do this with whatever you have. If you have Echo speakers, great. If you have the Google ones or Apple, whatever, it all works. And you can make, essentially, you can pair them up together. And you can do certain areas. So maybe you just want the upstairs of your house. Maybe you want all of them to be one unit together. And then once you go into your music player, whatever you use, I do Spotify, I can just say, hey, play music in the house, and it's all the speakers. So it's so nice. I have a few set up that I can do, maybe it's the kitchen, the living room, whatever. It's also a good reason if you have been considering one of the nicer speakers. I think it's worth it for the music. We got one of the Echo Studios, which is the, fancy dancy one, and I put that in the living room, and the sound is great. We used to have the Sonos ones. I'm sorry, Sonos, but the speaker quality was good. Everything else was horrendous. Basically, they don't listen to your voice.
That's the thing about Sonos. And you think that it would be a good, solid choice because it's so expensive.
I know. We bought a couple of them. And after a year, we just got so fed up. I put one in the garage. Somehow it stood up in the heat, which was nice. But yeah, those go with just the regular, an Echo, HomePod, whatever. But yeah, set up your music. And we have instructions for this over on the website, on commander.com. You can, I think if you search music speakers, and it'll definitely come up, and it will walk you totally through how to set this up yourself.
So, Jill, let me ask you a question. If I were to say, put on your most favorite music at this moment, what would that be?
As you know, I'm a saxophone player. I was a music major in college, and I play a lot of instruments. So probably would go with some jazz, not necessarily fusion or modern jazz, maybe older stuff, where I know that the quality of musician is really unbelievable, and it wasn't like done over with technology. Probably something very basic like that. But if it were to be rock or something like that, it would be more of a Blood, Sweat, and Tears with the horn section, or Chicago, old Chicago, stuff like that.
Chicago is an interesting choice. Because if you go to a Chicago concert, I don't know if they're still doing this, but I'm so sad that I missed the opportunity. But Barry and I went to go see Chicago in Vegas, and for $500, they take a couple of people out of the audience, and then you can come up and sing a song with them.
Whoa.
Oh wow,
That was like,
that's amazing! I would love to do that.
Cool. Yeah, I would too. I have a horrible voice, and they'd be like, "Okay, you can take her away." Take her. And what's so interesting about that is that here in Santa Barbara, I ran into one of the Beach Boys because they live here in town, and so through an acquaintance, and then his name is Bruce. So through an acquaintance, I was introduced to Bruce. And then Bruce is like, "Oh my God, Kim Commando, I love your show." And I'm like, "Oh my, who never knew? Like, like a Beach Boy loves my show." And he said to me, I always thought, listening to you all these years, that you have the most incredible voice, and that if we ever did something, like maybe I should call you and you'd be able to, maybe you want to sing a song with us or something. And I'm like, oh, I don't know, Bruce, I got really bad voice. And Barry's sitting there going, oh, no, you don't want her to do that. So Bruce said, can you sing a little something for me right now? And I said, oh, gosh, I don't know. Okay, you put me on the spot. And I said, good vibrations. And Bruce looked at me and he's like, yeah, okay.
Come on.
Forget that whole conversation. Forget that.
But I want to make sure I understand.
No.
A member of the Beach Boys had you impromptu sing a song for him.
That's exactly
That's a story for the ages.
That's exactly what happened. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yes, it
Only
did.
Kim.
And I blew it. That could have been my opportunity, right?
That could have been your
You
big
didn't
break.
blow it. I mean,
Gosh.
how many people could say that they even had that opportunity? That's amazing.
That's true. That's true. And so when I see him again, because it's just a small town here, is that I've decided like I'm going to tell I've been practicing, and maybe I need a little auto tune, just a little tiny bit. That's it.
Now, I don't know if we have time for
Okay,
this, but I've got a quick story like that, if you don't mind. I was tweeting something. Joe
go ahead.
Bonsall, who is one of the lead singers of the Oak Ridge Boys, retweeted me or said, hey, he's speaking the truth or something like that. And long story short, I ended up connecting with the Oak Ridge Boys. And when they were in town here near San Antonio, I went there. We went backstage, hung out with them. I mean, I'm talking to the guy who was the bass singer with Elvis, is the bass singer in the Oak Ridge Boys.
Wow.
And these guys could not have been nicer.
Wow.
And no, they didn't ask me to sing for them, but I did. I wrote a song that commemorated the 20th anniversary of 9/11. I wrote, sang it, played the piano, played the saxophone on it, and I played it for them. And their advice on input on the song was amazing. These guys, I mean, I'm guessing you had the same sort of feeling with this Beach Boy guy, Bruce, that they're just regular people that just love music,
Yes.
love people, and love just hanging out. These guys could not have been nicer to my family and me. And they were so instrumental in making the song better. And I'm thinking, when I was in college, I was singing the Bappas in Elvira with our little college group, our little band. And here I am talking to the guy. You know what I mean? It was just amazing
So
to me.
cool.
So I get it. If you get an opportunity to talk to these guys away from it, they're really great people.
Yes, that's true. That is true. So are they going to take your song and then make a big hit out of it?
Well, we record. This was 2 years ago because that was the anniversry, or almost 3 years ago now. But their input was excellent. They actually said more saxophone. So I don't know if that meant that they didn't like my singing. They wanted more instrument. That could have been. But no, Kim, I'll send you a link to it. I'll say it's called Tuesday Morning. And it was a Tuesday morning when that
Excellent.
attack happened. And I think it's
so
a very
sad.
good song, and people seem to like it pretty well.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you say 9/11, everybody's mind goes right back to that moment.
Where was I? Exactly.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Just goes right back. Where were you, Al?
I was getting ready for school.
Where were you, Joe?
I was a TV news anchor in Lansing, Michigan, and I was asleep. My wife woke me up because we have a great affinity for New York. We'd just been there recently and just saw the Twin Towers. And she woke me up, said a plane went into the tower. And I said, oh, my God, the guy must have been drunk, probably a Cessna. This is horrible. Hopefully everybody's okay. And then we turned on the TV and we saw the second plane crash in, and we knew exactly what was going on. So I went into work, went to the state capitol in Lansing, and I stood out in front of there, probably did live shots for about 12 hours trying to figure out what was going on and give people all the information we had. But it was a scary time. I had young children at the time, and explaining to them what we're going through is not very easy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget when she woke me up, I was like, this is horrible. Somebody had a heart attack. They were drunk. Something bad happened. But you never think it was what it was.
You see, now, I was laying down with Ian. Ian was, a little over 1 year old. And I was laying down with Ian, and Barry came in, and he said, you have to see what's going on. And I said, what do you mean? And so I left Ian there in his crib, and I went into the living room, and I looked at Barry, and I said, you woke me up to watch some science fiction movie? And he's like, no, Kim, this is real. And I'm like, oh, gosh. Okay, but we have to switch gears. We're going to switch gears right now.
8.5.
Because I have a great joke. Okay, you ready? 8.5.
It's got to be an
Ready?
8.5. You promised an 8.5.
I think it is. I think it's a good solid one. Okay, so a police officer pulls over a little old lady in a car going a little bit too slow, and he asks her the usual, you know why I pulled you over? You're going 35 in a 65 mile per hour, and so I need your license, your registration, your proof of insurance. And she says, okay, well, I got everything. She hands it right over. And then the officer asked, I don't know why I need to ask you this, but ma'am, do you have any weapons in the car that I should know about? She says, well, officer, I have a .45 at my waistband, a Glock in the center console, a .357 in the glove box, a 12 gauge under the back seat, and an AR-10 in the trunk. And the officer says, geez, lady, what the hell are you so afraid of? And she looked at him and said, not a damn thing.
Love it. That lady lives in Texas.
Yes.
She does live in Texas. She loves it. All right, so here's the deal, folks. You want to make sure that you check out joepags.com, and you want to make sure also that you get our newsletters because they're free. And let me tell you, 600,000 folks can't be wrong. And we actually looked at some people who get the newsletters. We actually looked at their email domains. And so we have people like from NASA, the FBI, Harvard, Yale. Where are some other places?
I think CIA. I think we saw that in there.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, the FBI. I mean, like, these are like big time. I think I saw one that said whitehouse.gov. And I don't know if it's Joe or not, but I'm just saying somebody there. So you want to make sure that you sign up over at getkim.com. Once again, getkim.com. And if you already get our newsletters, at the bottom of every one, you'll see a referral link. So that's for you to pass along that referral, get your friends and family to sign up. And when they sign up, you have a chance to win valuable prizes. We're talking about mugs and backpacks, even an iPad. So again, just scroll to the bottom, get that referral link, pass it along, and you could win some valuable prizes. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us. Give us a great review wherever you get your podcasts, and we'll see you again next week, but I will see you tomorrow.
This program is a copyrighted production of Westar Multimedia Entertainment and protected by the copyright laws. Any rebroadcast or use of this program for commercial, business, economic, or financial purposes without the written permission of Westar Multimedia Entertainment is strictly prohibited.